Hey everyone, Aparna here. So excited. I am back with a flip through of my sketchbook, which I have been waiting to do even before I started this challenge. Yes, this is the flip through of my acrylic painting challenge that I did. And let me go through it, and I'm going to talk you through about my entire experience. This was my first painting. I started with a washi tape and it went extremely bad. The paper did not take washi tape at all. I did try another time here, same thing, didn't work out. I do remember thinking of using only one side of the sketchbook first, but then I gradually ended up doing on both sides. So how I started was, initially 20 pages. I hope I get that math correct, or maybe 10 pages on both sides. I did not apply gesso. I painted with applying the paints directly on the paper, and the only difference that I saw was I felt the colors. This is my favorite work, this and this, one of my favorite ones, and I felt it lacked vibrancy and shine. However, I went on with it. As you know, I never quite give up so easily. I just have to keep trying and see how things work for me. Until this page, I had applied no gesso, and this is how it came out. Now from this page I started applying gesso and then applied the paint. The major difference, or the only difference that I see, is the colors seem to be quite vibrant. I tried to keep the similar image, but I cannot copy the same image again and again, so it just went little different. This tree is kind of similar to this one. That was the max I managed with the colors, similar colors. But I hope you're able to see in through this video. I'm not very sure. I hope the sun is not glaring too much and you can see the vibrancy in the paints after applying gesso on it. So I really enjoyed this process so much. Often and on, just like any other art work, there were stages when I really wanted to give up, like I didn't even know what I was doing. Those things happened. I loved this one. I've never painted a tree this close, so this was a wonderful experience I had. And I never give up, like I said, and I went on with it. This is my absolute favorite painting in this sketchbook. I genuinely hope that this video is doing justice to the colors, but I'm not very sure. But anyway, I'm going to do my best to see if I can make another video another time and see how that one goes. But anyway, I hope you can see the vibrancy in the colors. Absolutely loved it because I tried a new shade of blue, mixed it with yellow, and I got this beautiful green, and I quite literally fell in love with that blue color. And for me, this is what sketchbook means. It is to experiment. Now this sketchbook, this is also my favorite one because I tried grays and purples and blues in my painting, which I generally don't do. However, what I was saying is, I look at my sketchbooks as a playground, a place where I can try out different things so that I can make a bigger one and a final version of it on a proper canvas. Now, when I flip through, while flipping through this sketchbook, I did realize that it kind of looks like complete finish pretty sketchbook. However, I want to assure you that it is not like that by any means. It's kind of hard to show you, but most of them are incomplete works. They're not done, they're not finished works. There are a lot of marks brush marks, colors, paints, which can be enhanced, but I got the idea. I get the idea. And that is the point in these paintings. I'm using them as my thumbnails. Now, I'm not used to making thumbnails, and I'm completely aware that this is not really a thumbnail. Thumbnails are smaller, they are tiny sketches, blocks of colors, and things like that. But this was just my version. I kind of thought this will help me out. This will help me out not only transition from different medium to acrylics, but will also help me see what I really am looking forward to when I try and make a bigger canvas. So couple of paintings in here, like this one and this one, and the one that I showed you, this one, this painting. These paintings will be I even like this one a lot. All these paintings I hopefully will be able to, this one included, hopefully someday I will be able to turn them into bigger canvases, and I'm going to use them as my thumbnails to get an idea. I do have the reference picture. Now I have the version of my version of that picture. Together, taking both things in consideration, I will go ahead and make my bigger painting. So I am so happy I did this challenge. However, I will have to say that it was supposed to be 40 days challenge. I of course knew that I will not be that I probably won't be able to finish it in 40 days, but I didn't realize that I'm going to finish it in 169 days. Yes, I took 169 days to finish this challenge. I can't do the math really well out here, but it is approximately like 1 to 2 paintings per week. I do know a couple of weeks in between I skipped painting due to some reason, and yeah, things didn't happen. But the thing is, I'm really proud of myself for finishing it. I'm hoping that in future I'm not going to take this long for any challenge, but I'm coming back to acrylics after a very long gap. So I am happy that I started it and I finally managed to finish it off. So here's me trying to make mountains. Really didn't do a good job, did I? So loads of mistakes in this sketchbook, but each and every piece is something close to my heart. I love each and every one of them with their flaws, and I would love to do it again in future. I can see an opportunity here that I can use acrylic paints on paper if need be. I will of course shift to my canvas very soon. Hopefully, if my health is not exactly in the current state, my endometriotic cysts are flaring up very bad, but I'm hoping in near future things will settle down and I will be back on my canvas, on my easel. So I'm hoping for the best. So let's see how it goes. For now, let me give a little bit of detail about the sketchbook that I used. I used Viviva sketchbook. This is A5 landscape portrait, landscape format. 40 pages, that is 20 sheets. So I believe there are 20 sheets here, so therefore there are 40 sides. 100% cotton paper, 300 GSM, cold press, and acid free. And like I said, this paper is slightly yellow in color. As you can see, this is a normal white paper, and on the table I have actually spread a white paper, and you can see the difference between the two. When I started with this challenge, that was the time when I actually realized that I had 60 new sketchbooks, and I knew I had to do something with them. And that is when I realized, since I really wanted to do acrylic paints, why don't I take up one of the sketchbooks and apply acrylics and see what happens. This sketchbook was one of the oldest ones that I had, and it was 300 GSM, so I decided the weight is correct for the acrylics. So let's give it a try, and I'm so happy I tried it. Not only was I able to finish one sketchbook, but I also had a fantastic time. It was challenging, yes, I completely agree to that. um, However, like any other painting, any other session, there were challenges. There were days when I didn't feel like doing it. There were days when I just felt like dropping it and, just going for the next project. But I persevered through the entire thing, and I do not have any regrets whatsoever. Had a fantastic time. What I did, however, was with every um, experience, I did kind of write down some points so that I could let you know about this paper. So let me quickly share what all I had in my mind. The first 20 days where I didn't apply gesso, I did manage pretty well on the paper. The brush moved pretty well by the time I reached day 12. So initially I was hesitating, and I think that is because I'm doing acrylics after a very long time. So it took some time for the muscle memory to kick in. And by day 12, I was feeling better about how to approach the medium, and I was doing better, and I was finding layering quite easy by that time. The cons, however, were the browns were not vibrant. The blues, however, continued to look beautiful, but I think I struggled with the color brown because I did write it down. And yes, I do remember the browns were turning out to be dull, but yeah, I got through it. These browns, I generally have brighter and vibrant browns in on my canvas, and they are generally not dull. And I believe I had to add a little bit of yellows and Naples yellow as well, yellow ochre and Naples yellow, to try my best to give that bright highlights on the rocks. I now remember that. So I think that's what I meant. As you can see here, I added a little bit of yellow to get that glow. I was not getting that with my burnt sienna. Now, day 21 to day 40, rest of it, I applied gesso first on the surface, and I did realize that it was very easy to apply watered down colors. So glazing became quite easy after I started applying gesso, and definitely layering was even more easier than it was before that. Colors turned out to be bit more vibrant. As you can see, the browns, because I was able to glaze them over, I think the browns started glowing the way I wanted them to show up. And there was still no shine. Acrylic has a very beautiful shine to the paint. However, I didn't see uh, still don't see the shine in them. They look very matte, but they look beautiful. They still look lovely. They still look vibrant, but the shine is actually not there the way it shines on canvas. Sorry. And the blues, I did love the blues, but here with the gesso as well, the blues simply retained its gloss. They were actually bit glossy. The blue colors were actually the colors that I felt was a tad bit more shiny and glossier than the rest of the colors. And I also realized that if there was any other paint, any other color with which I was mixing the blues, those colors really looked beautiful. Like this one, I really like these purples and grays, and here as well, they came out absolutely lovely if I mixed my uh, blues with them. So I have a couple of more points. It was definitely fun and challenging to do this, and the good about this paper was that there was hardly any buckling. So let me show you what I mean. Now look at this. Love this paper for that. A slight gentle wave is all that I see on these papers. So the paper took these colors really well. Just see, barely any, there is no warping. I mean, there is like slight bend here, but not crazy warping, nothing. And very nice. And it did handle acrylic paints quite well. I will say it handled it quite well. I did find it difficult to uh, paint details, though, I have to agree, especially creating thin lines. But then again, I'm thinking of the fact that I am using acrylics after a long time, so maybe it's possible that I had to mix a little bit more water to make it a little bit more fluid, and maybe I didn't do it at that point. And we have AC going on 24/7, so it was drying the colors out very quickly. The cons of this paper would be for me that the color of the paper is creamy, and I felt somehow that it was affecting the colors that I was applying, because colors did feel little different after I applied a white gesso. But it was okay, it's all right. I love toned paper when I use gouache, so this was a kind of a mental blockage maybe. I'm not used to doing acrylics like that, so it could be, but it still looks very nice. This paper reacted to erasers very badly. I tried to erase certain drawings that I had made earlier, and oh boy, this paper did not like any eraser whatsoever. The only thing I managed to do was take a kneaded eraser, roll it up, and just roll it on the paper very lightly to get the graphite powder out. So in by the end, I think I just started blocking in the drawings. I didn't bother to give details, but yeah, I definitely faced that issue with this paper. Thin brush marks, it was not very easy to do it. I really wanted to do a tiger's eye or a cat's eye, but knowing how this paper works, I absolutely refrained from doing it because there was no way I could handle making fur on this paper. So glazing worked very well after I applied gesso. Without gesso, I was not able to glaze. However, again, like I said, I'm doing it after a long time. Maybe if I would have been a little bit more patient, it could have worked, but I genuinely feel the glazing did not work out without the gesso. And the whites, yes, I did feel at certain places that the whites were not very vibrant, but yeah, I did feel certain white highlights. I was trying my best to get them, but it was not happening. Now, it can be because of the color of the paper, but I am really not sure. I was not getting them. However, overall, I would say, would I like to buy this sketchbook again? I'm not very sure right now. I would like to buy it again, but it is a good product, definitely. And the more I was doing it, I was wondering how will it look if I had applied watercolors on it. So I'm still very curious about this paper. I would like to give a second chance to it. But maybe if I have another option being given to me, I would probably go for that one instead of this one. So anyway, this was like a flip through and a review, a mini review of this sketchbook. Overall, I absolutely loved this challenge, and yes, I will say I liked this sketchbook. But if I have another option, most likely I would go for that one. If this paper was white, I think I would definitely buy the paper again. But I'm not very sure. If I get another option, I will go for this one with the creamy background. But yes, I had a fantastic time, and I will not deny that. Whole bunch of challenges, and getting back into acrylics. Yes, I enjoyed the process very well. A lot, I have to agree to that. And well, look at this, hardly any buckling of the paper. And I applied on both sides, and even when I applied on the first one side, that was initial first 2 days, I realized that paper did not buckle badly. It was still like this. That is when I decided that I will be painting on both sides, because the paper seemed to be handling the color really well. So all happy guys. I am so happy I did it. I had a wonderful time. Now I know that if need be, then I can use acrylic paints on paper and have fun. That is my main point. Always doing art is you need to have fun, and I can now see an opportunity that I can do that. However, I do agree that when you apply acrylics on paper, the shine, it loses the shine of acrylic. Because I have this one, there is no shine. There is vibrancy, but there is no shine on it. This one was done on Arches paper. Again, not a single shine can I see in here. Very smooth, but I cannot really see any shine the way acrylic generally shines. So yes, if you are okay with it, or this is my experience anyway, if you guys have had any other experience, do let me know in comments. I don't intend to put gloss varnish on it because it smells, and I can't take the smell, and if I have to keep it at home, then I probably will not be doing it. However, I do have a tracing paper with me, and I will be cutting off, oops, sorry, this is an A4 size tracing paper. So what I'm going to do is later on I'm going to cut it off like this into half and put one sheet between each page. Acrylic paints tend to stick together, so I know even if I press it and keep it here, it's going to each paper is going to stick together, because this has happened with me even when I'm not putting any pressure. Now I of course have to keep this somewhere, so there is a possibility that it is going to get squashed between two other sketchbooks. Right now I don't have many sketchbooks that I've completed, so I can protect it for quite some time, but not for long, because I intend to pick each sketchbook and start finishing them off. So that's the plan. And yeah, oh my god, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy I did this. I had a wonderful time, and for me these are incomplete quick paintings which I will elaborate and give more details to when I paint in a proper big canvas. So this is my version. I'm going to learn doing thumbnails as days go by. But for now, coming back to acrylic after a very long gap, this was an amazing return for me. Very, very happy, learned so many things, and I now know what all things I need to focus on, and I want to have more fun. I loved how these I drew these barks on the trees and really enjoyed myself. I hope this sketchbook inspires you to pick up your sketchbook and start experimenting on them. I wish there was a way to show you that these paintings, even if they look complete beautiful sketchbooks, they are honestly not complete works. There are pencil marks, there are in many places you will be able to see the papers, there are brush marks which was not intended to be there. There are mistakes in many places. These are ideas which I just wanted them to I just wanted to put down some ideas, got some reference pictures, and do my thing. They are just an idea like these ones. A lot of places in here you can see the paper, but it's not really visible from a distance. So they look complete, they look finished, but they are actually not so. So I hope, look at this, there are paints coming out from all over the place. So these are not pieces of perfect art. They probably do look beautiful, and I do agree to that part, that it might be looking like wow, it's a complete sketchbook and things like that. Yes, and it does look like that, and I completely understand that part. But since I'm holding it in my hand and seeing it for myself, I can see so many flaws. Beautiful, I say flaws are important. I embrace them. I love every flaw that happens on a sketchbook, but that's because that is what helps me get better at the next painting. So if you guys have your sketchbooks, then please take them out, experiment. I am used to painting for a long time, so this doesn't come as a surprise to me. But for me, I've never done something like this before. This is my first experience to have these kind of edges, paints coming out, messing up. These things are very new to me as well, but this is my version of experimenting. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, I took a long sentence to say that. This is my version of experimenting. This is how I like to play around in my sketchbook. It doesn't have to have just marks, incomplete works. For me, this is my version of playing around in a sketchbook. So why don't you guys carry on? Get hold of your sketchbooks, see what sketchbook does to you, what is your version of how to play in a sketchbook plays out. Yeah, experiment, have fun, have a fantastic time, enjoy and embrace every moment of it. Things will happen, things like that, paints will come out of the borders. I think I did it pretty much in the end here. I just swiped the brush and it went right over the border. I tried to fix it, then I realized nope, no need, it's a sketchbook, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I left it off. So this is how it is, my version of a sketchbook. Go and find out your version, guys. See what makes you happy, be persistent, persevere through your stages, embrace what is happening, love every piece of artwork, and just see how beautiful you make your life with your art included in it. So if you guys like this video, then please do like, share and subscribe, and until next time, stay happy and stay creative. Bye bye.